First, I'd like to say it really was a pleasure working with Kayla and Zach this last time. And for those who have students, we are accepting now, or applications are being accepted for the next set. We'll start in January, so we can start that program again in the winter time, which brings a whole new aspect to being at a construction site. So that'll be fun.
Well, good evening. Thanks again for having us. A couple of pre-construction updates. Tonight, I think on your packet is the recommendation for the main MEP package. The bids came in below budget. Upon your approval, contracts will be issued. We'll commence some of the submittal procurement, phasing, scheduling, a lot of the paperwork in preparation for the work to start in the spring. And that work program takes us from spring until September. So we're ready to get going on that in earnest on that phase of the work. And today, we took bids for the Fieldhouse Part 2. We're going to begin the process of evaluating the bids. Those bid values as a whole came in under the budgeted amounts. We had great participation. We had 9 general work contractors, 8 plumbers, 9 mechanicals, and 5 electricians. Great turnout, and the numbers reflect that. We had a good grouping of values. And we got some work to do, Robin and her team, and just going through the checks and balances, making sure the bonds are in order, their schedule values, they understand the job is scheduled before we come with recommendations at your January board meeting. Timeline for that will begin in summer and end by the fall, and that's the completing of the Fieldhouse work. Other activities right now, we're just looking ahead for the second phase of the main. That will regenerate itself shortly once state funding generates. We have documents that have been completed by KSQ, and just recapping that those documents reflect the referendum tasks and goals, and it's all within the budget amounts currently. And once the time comes, we'll pick that up quickly and get to the next step of things. Robin, you want to talk about some construction highlights?
Okay, so again, we have the field house, just the highlights that are listed here. On the ones that Mike has reported on. Updates as far as the East and West addition, still ongoing, still moving along. The big activities right now that you'll notice once you go down on site and come down during the tours is the interior framing, the sheetrocking. So at this point, we're starting to frame ceilings on the 3rd floor, the hard ceilings in the bathrooms and in the corridors, and start the grid work to put the ceilings in the classrooms themselves. So the 3rd floor is moving towards finishes. We'll have millwork that'll have to be started. That'll start in the early spring. Continuing, another couple of big items that we'll have coming up soon. We'll be setting the rooftop units, the large rooftop units, one on each wing, between January 10th and January 12th. That will create the need to have a crane, an aerial crane that will come up to 34,000 pounds of equipment. So we'll be doing that in January on the West Addition. So again, we're still starting from the East Addition, 3rd floor down, West Addition, 3rd floor down, and moving right along with the interior, and on the West Addition, the exterior enclosures. In Salzman Court, of course, we can't really get in there until school is out, but we do have the freight elevator shaft is under construction, and we do plan on doing some demo work interior of Salzman over the spring break, so that we have so that we can do the mechanical tie-ins to each of the wings. Some photos again. The East Addition South elevation. You can see where they're putting on the substrate for the metal alucobond panels that go on the bump out area. And do you want to just talk about that briefly? What that does is that it frames out the bump out area, and then you have the panels.
Thank you, Robin.
So, moving on. Again, the south elevation. And now you can finally see, which is coming alongside on the west elevation. Give you an idea. This is just standing on the roof of Salzman and looking over. So you have the brick, and then the brick on the bottom, and then panels. And this is the what do you call it, a scattered design of the colors. So we're moving along. We're getting that taken care of. All of the windows, of course, everything on the east addition, east wing is being completed. To give you an idea, again, standing on the roof, looking northeast of Salzman East Addition. Interior-wise, you can see, of course, where the lockers basically goes, where the green are. Everything above that is in the corridor. They've started some hard framing of the soffit area in the corridors themselves. All the mechanicals are going above the ceiling and in place. Taping, priming, painting is starting to look like room by room by room, and actually see the rooms and what they'll start to look at as they're finishing up. As you get lower down, a little less sheetrock, a little more framing. Exterior-wise, again, masonry, exterior finishing up, just the work. They are doing, and they have done windows. You can't see too many of them that are done in this view, but they're moving around on the third floor and then second floor as areas open up and are finished and ready. Window installation is going on, and they're continuing to do the masonry work through the winter. They've tented, and they're keeping the area warm while they're doing it, but they continue to do masonry over the winter months. You can see it's all framed in, it's all sheetrock, it's all sheathed and ready for 2 floors of the niche and 1 floor of the brick on the west side. Again, interior framing. It gets to seem, it seems old. I promise you, and it won't be that long, and I'll start to bring you pictures of finished rooms with some flooring in it and some ceilings in it, and that kind of thing. Everything's going really pretty well. And again, we've looked at so far, weather-wise, nothing too major going on.
Questions?
Yes, sir.
Who gets to decide where those gold rectangles go?
I will
You could
say it was Armand.
It makes a difference.
The best part is seeing the contractors with the paper out there going, no, wait, yes, no, that's it, no, we got it, no.
And it was drawn out
It
very
is.
specifically where they go, not left the chance.
So we're at the end of 2016. This is our last board meeting. And so I was thinking, so what is the schedule for 2017? What's going to happen what's going to happen with with MJM? When are students going to be in the Salzman core academic building? What's that schedule? I don't know what it is.
To give you a quick brief rundown, of course, we can follow it up with any information that you, further information that you may need. Wings, East Wing, East Addition, West Addition, open for occupancy September.
September 2017.
At that time, we'll be basically, and we meet all the time with Andy and with Kirk every week, and we beg and they make promises as far as where we can be in Salzman and out of Salzman for itself. Starting in June, we will start the demolition of MJM. It will take 6 to 8 months to get that down, because we have to abate it, we have to salvage things, we have to get all of that taken care of. So as MJM can start to come down, and we're doing the north end, which is the cafeteria area of Salzman itself, from September through January. That way within January we turn over the new cafeteria and the new food service area. But we will be in Salzman, basically in its entirety, starting in September, and then that finishes up for completion for the September start date of 2018. We're not going to be in Tobin Whiston at all. We're not touching that building. It's not part of anything. This summer, we will be working in the entire area of Maine, doing mechanical. We will be doing the entire area of the field house, doing phase 2. We will be in the entire area of Salzman. We'll be in the wings. We'll be in the core. We'll be everywhere in Salzman this summer. We have, I know, and then the other thing that I didn't mention that we have also done was this week we have worked to finalize all of the furniture choices for the entire building, for all the wings, for the cafeteria, for the offices, for the library. Everything has been decided. Those decisions have been brought to the steering committee and approved, and so we now know exactly how many desks, how many chairs, when they'll be delivered, how many tables for the cafeteria, all the loose seating in the library and that type of thing, when they're set to be ordered on site as well. So we're working on, we should have that purchased now for delivery, the first delivery in the summer. First 2 deliveries in the summer, east and west of Ocean.
And so now, I was a little confused, when will the cafeteria, in September, will the new cafeteria, all of that will be
2018.
occupied?
No.
The long and short of it is that the core academic will be totally complete September of 18. So this year we'll have the academic wings and not the center, not Salzman proper. By December, the end of December, we'll have the cafeteria ready. So
The end of December of 2017.
17. So the T part of the building will be completed, and the north-south part of the building will be worked on until September of 18. And then during that process, we're also completing the field house. So we'll be completely out of the field house and completely out of Salzman by September of 2018.
Okay, and MJM will come down starting in July of
This summer.
Oh, this
This
is-
summer.
2000,
Exactly.
it'll take the rest of the year to,
To take it down, and then the idea at that point is that's when we start putting the addition. As soon as we can get that breezeway down, we can put the addition on the south end of the Salzman core, which will be the new main entrance. So we have to add on to it, as well as, it's basically a gut renovation inside the Salzman. There's no getting around it. Everything on the inside is going to be completely different than what it is now. So we'll do that over the next school year.
and then, so then in the second semester, well, so January to June of 2018, what will be in Salzman, the core Salzman? I mean, would that be empty?
It'll be construction.
It'll be, well, no, from January to June in the core Salzman, cafeteria and food service will be open and usable and brand new. And the second floor, science rooms,
Right.
will be complete. So the T area, the north, the
East-west.
east-west wing will be complete in January. Let's do it this way. Turnover this September, west wing turnover this September. This area here that goes from the east wing to the west wing, this is the north corridor. This would be turned over in January.
And that's where the
December, January.
that's where the new cafeteria
And
is.
science rooms, that kind of thing. Basically in this, well, I don't know, yes, cafeteria and science room. Then from here, this south corridor out, this is where MJN is now.
Right.
So as we take this down between September and January, then we can start this work here and this addition and everything. in that
And so that's where so there's a little piece of it is the new entrance.
Right here is the new entrance.
And then between that and the and the north end is where the cafeteria and library are now.
Currently,
Yes.
yeah.
And those will be closed, that area will be closed in January of 2018 and reopened in September of 2018.
Yeah.
Correct.
Robin, I know you have a graphic of this.
I do.
So
And
if you
as
could
a matter of
send
fact,
that,
I have one.
if you could send that to Camille, she could put it in this, to Mr. Perna, she could put it in the board,
I can do that.
in the board packet, so they, so there's a, so people have a graphic depiction.
Absolutely.
So a quick question, I'm thinking about the students and instruction. I'm trying to imagine how the wings will be used while the center of Salzman's being renovated.
We have partition corridor, hard partition corridor exiting around all of the construction at all times, which is one of the reasons why we're doing the demolition of the stairwell that's in Salzman Core now, or over the spring. This summer, what we'll do is the corridor, you're familiar with. So as you come in the east wing, the new corridor will go all the way along this wall into to where the south is.
Is that the bridge
cafeteria- It's a permanent corridor.
No, it's not the
cafeteria
bridge.
is-
It's actually the north T part.
Okay.
There'll be a walkway. And
Yeah.
as always, the paramount issue here is the safety of the children. And by SED regulation, we have to separate construction from students. And we've been diligently working with our team and with Andy and Kurt about how this is all going to work out. In fact, Andy today was like, he's got all the classrooms in his head and where all those kids are going and what classrooms they're going to be in and where the library's going. And we've got in our head all the little things of where we're going to start building and everything. And we're merging it together on the plans now. And it's been hours and hours of work, and we're going to continue that process.
So will the students have to go outside?
No.
No.
Not
And the
at all.
MJM, when it's being demolished, those classrooms will be relocated
In the
throughout
wings.
the
And
wings.
the top two,
Right.
well, basically in the top two floors of the east addition will become the ninth grade.
When we're all said and done, the core academic building encompasses all of MJM, Tobin Liston, and what was Salzman, all those classrooms. So the classrooms are available. So during this process, even though we're not, and again, this is what Andy, we're working on, we're not going to drain out completely the vocational building whole. There'll be students in that building as swing space. So for a short period of time, there'll be an abundance of classroom. Right, we'll have more than we need. But we're going to need it because we have to relocate the library and the security office and all those ancillary services have to be relocated.
So we have 7 levels, 4 on the east side, 3 on the west side. All of those levels are going to be open for students in September of 2017. That's a lot of space.
140,000 square feet.
40.
140,
140?
yeah, plus or minus.
18,750 or something like that.
It's gonna take some mental calculation.
We'll get that information and send it out as far as some of the phasing. Yeah, I can keep it so that you have, a general idea, and then there's some little minor things that have to happen here and there. We have to make sure that this summer, the gang bathroom across from the cafeteria is gutted and finished and everything, so that there is one on that floor, so there's other little parts and pieces. But in general, we can give you an idea of what to expect next semester as well as all the way through until completion in 2018.
It's a short presentation, but there is a lot of planning that goes on daily with Rob and her team and Tom and Kirk and everyone else that are always trying to be looking ahead, be proactive. And that is helping things really become smooth and transparent out there. It's going great. No complaints. We haven't really heard anything. And the job's running well. And yeah, next summer's going to be busy. We're going to
Yes, summer's
transition
gonna
from
be-
old to new and start taking out the old.
Well, thank you. I mean, people in the community want to know what the schedule is. There's lots of excitement about it. And this is the forum to give them that information, I think. I mean, people do watch.
But if they had an opportunity to see the field house, that is beautiful.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the next phase. I mean, they're gonna start some of the outside work in the spring, around April, but completion by early, maybe September 15th or so, 100%, and new gym floors, new gym, pool locker rooms, pool bleachers, and new lobby, and sidewalks all over, and site lighting, and I think it's just gonna pick up that other whole, on both sides, on Andrew Street side and on the side facing the campus itself. Yeah, it's gonna be really exciting. The stuff in Maine, not so much. Nobody's gonna care that we've run new piping and that there's new unit vents and there's better heat and everything else. It's one of those, you're not gonna see a lot of renovation that's been done, but you're gonna have new boiler, new heating system, and that kind of thing. And then eventually we'll get to do that fancy stuff in Maine in the next phase.
Oh, so one more question. So right now, along front of Main, there's a lot of trees and shrubbery and things like that weren't there when it was originally built, right? A lot of that is going to come down, right? It's going to be.
Yeah, the plan would be to remove that and actually restore it back to what it looked like originally, starting off with smaller growth trees and some bushes to complement what was there originally. But over time, they've grown, they've cut down on the amount of natural light that gets into the building and natural sun and drying out the facade. So we think it would be prudent to move forward in that fashion.
The KHS bushes are saying.
Yeah, oh yeah. On the front lawn, we wouldn't touch those. It's directly adjacent to the building where the root systems, are going down into the ground, obviously, and we want to make sure that long-term there's no impact to the foundations, things like that, which there is not today. There's no problems with it. We want to just make sure that it continues in that fashion.
Mrs. Collins and Mrs. Jordan.
I just have one more, and it might actually be for our own administrative team, but thank you. Once again, it's really the most exciting thing to see the pictures, to drive by and see it, I think for all of us. My question would be with the taking down of MJM, and I probably should know this, but I've lost it somewhere. What are we going to do with the ninth grade academy? Does that have a designated space? We're keeping that?
Yeah, that'll be in the third and fourth floor of the east wing.
Because I know that's important
Yeah.
with
So
our
we
shift
have
to
them.
keep those cohorts together. It's working so well, so thank you. New space for that. Good news.
To Jim's point, I just thought it was important to point out that there was a reason that, even though it might not be as flashy, but we wanted the old main building to be taken care of in this project. And it was purposeful. And I think it's very important that the public knows that even though it's not so, exciting because it's going to look similar, it does matter to the quality of the day of the students that there's good heating and, adequate ventilation, and all those things were part of this process. And I really am grateful that it was planned that way, so thank you.
And it only makes sense to get the infrastructure finished before you start doing finishes. Always do the above before you.
There are some exciting things about it too. We're not going to leave the building looking like it is either. The non-exciting part is this summer. We're throwing pipes and boilers in that nobody sees. But at the end of the day, that building will be refurbished and it'll be brought back to the glory that it had.
Even better.
Well, don't forget to give us a preview with the skylight.
But the sky, that's right, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.